What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And it is, well, the morning, the afternoon after, the night before. Does anybody else feel shattered right now? I still feel like I actually played the game last night. And I did not sleep much last night, that is for sure. As many of you will have seen on AFTV, I drove down to the Emirates. I was there till 2:30 in the morning. Had to get up and do the school run, and yeah, man, just running on pure adrenaline today. What a mad game. What a mad game of football. That's what being a football fan is all about, right? But an unbelievable victory for Arsenal. Performance, not amazing, but the result was incredible, and it keeps the spirit of the season going. We got the Champions League draw on Friday, and I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. And have you noticed? I don't know about you guys. There's a lot of salty fans out there today. I don't get it. Like when other teams win, I'm quiet because I just think, boy, they actually might win something. I better keep quiet. When Arsenal win, people get really irritated. I don't know what it is. Like, let us enjoy the moment, but it is what it is. We'll enjoy it ourselves, you know. I took Cruz to school late this morning as well. So I hope no one from his school is watching this. But yeah, big up to everyone locked in. I want to say, first of all, massive, massive thank you to the community for yesterday, man. The numbers on that stream were over 150,000 views, which is incredible. You know, for a watch along. I think at one point we peaked at 10.2k in the live chat at once. And yeah, I know a lot of them was the ops. They came in during extra time. They thought it was going to go pear-shaped, but, you know, it never worked out like that. So I want to say a big thank you to the community. Great support. You lot came in clutch yesterday, that's for sure. So big up to you guys. Guile said, I know it's early, but run the intro. You know what? Run that bomber clock. Alright, only one time. Only one time. Apologies for cussing, by the way, but it's one of them days, you know. I'm tired. Big up Jerome said, good morning, Big C community and the quarterfinal. Arsenal, come on, you Gunners. Vamos, let's build our heritage. Put that star above the badge. Put the star above the badge, man. We need it. We need it. But no, I'll be honest, last night, man, the energy at the Emirates was crazy. Was doing player ratings until 1:30 in the morning. People were just, the mood was so great. And, you know, some people say, you know, when we lose, they go, oh, you want Arsenal to lose and negativity will bring you more views. Nah, there's nothing better than positivity. There's nothing better than the team winning. Can you imagine what the Champions League final watch-along would look like? Like, can you imagine the numbers and the celebrations if we win? And people don't understand, man. We've been through a lot as Arsenal fans, man. Trust me. So I just hope we get a trophy this season. We need one, that is for sure. We got a lot to talk about. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. I'm live at 6 o'clock as well on Turkish's channel, the OG's podcast, as we're calling it. So make sure you tune in for that as well. That'll be vibes over there at 6 o'clock over on Turkish's channel. So lock in for that. And obviously I'll be doing the Champions League draw on Friday. I believe it's 11 a.m. UK time. So I'll be live maybe 20 minutes before that as well on Friday. So make sure you tune in for that. That is going to be absolutely massive. Who are we going to get? Who do you want us to get? A lot of people at the Emirates last night, oh, give us Real Madrid, give us. I said, bro, I'm shameless. I know you're on a high right now. I don't want nothing to do with Real Madrid. I definitely don't want nothing to do with Man City. I don't want to play them in a title race over 2 legs in Europe. I want the winner of PSV against Dortmund. That's what I want. Like, I don't know about anybody else. And I'm not disrespecting any of those teams because, you know, they're both good teams, by the way. But I think we need a little bit more time before we start running into Madrids and Man Cities. I think yesterday's result was incredible, but there was still a lot of warning signs in that performance. And you shouldn't ignore the warning signs. You know, I'm delighted with the victory. A lot of people saying Barca and PSV, PSG. I think what the argument was is some people were saying, and I thought this was a good point, they were saying Dortmund are a bit of a counter-attacking team. So they'll defend and try and hit us on the break, whereas maybe a PSG, maybe a Barcelona will actually try and take it to us. And sometimes that suits us a little bit more because then they're a little bit more open defensively. But Barcelona brushed Napoli aside last night, and I know we beat them in pre-season, but yeah, for me, man, I want the winner of PSV Dortmund. I can't lie, but we'll see. I would imagine we're gonna get somebody good, but whoever we get, we need to embrace it. We need to improve. The number one team I don't want is Manchester City, not because I don't think we can beat them. I think in the middle of a title race, when you've already got to play Man City once at the Etihad, I think the last thing you want is to throw 2 more games in against them in Europe. Imagine having to play City 3 times in the space of 4 weeks. I think that would take too much out of us. So, but yeah, we'll see. Listen, at least we're in the draw. Because I'm going to be real, when it went to penalties, a whole heap of PTSD kicked in. On the outside, I was saying, come on, keep believing we're going to win. But I'll be real deep down. Sporting Lisbon, Villarreal, Olympiacos, PTSD was running rife, people. I was not confident that we were going to win that. But fair play. David Raya, the hero, Enrique Iglesias settings. I think he stamped his place in Arsenal fans' heart last night with that performance. Saved 2 penalties, nearly saved a third. Was probably the end of Aaron Ramsdale over the last few days. What he did, obviously, against Brentford, and then Raya making that saves. As George says, the first time Arsenal have reached the Champions League quarter-final in 14 years, which is unbelievable. Cello, genuinely, the stress levels last night on a whole other level. I went gym this morning, and honestly, I was just like, boy, I had to take a breather. I said, yo, we went on an emotional roller coaster last night as Arsenal fans. That was crazy. It'd probably get worse than that as we play bigger and better teams as well. So I'm actually quite glad we haven't got a game for 2.5 weeks. I'm going to chill. But we'll do plenty of content as well. Michael said, styles make fights, Big C. If we get into Atletico, it'll be the same as last night, but worse. We need to play a team who wants to play Bar City and Madrid. And I hear you on that. I do hear you on that. That, you know, a team that sits back and defends and cuts away our space seems to cause us problems. I think we do have to give Porto some credit. I think along with Man City at home, that was the hardest game we've had this season at the Emirates. And I know people will say, yeah, but you lost to West Ham. You lost to Liverpool in the FA Cup, but we should have beat West Ham. We had 21 shots, and we should have beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. That was a hard game last night. And I agree with you, K. Bowers. David Raya, first thing he said, I should have saved 3. Didn't want to celebrate that he saved 2. He said, I should have saved the 3rd one. I got a good hand on it. I should have tipped it wide. That, for me, is a fantastic mentality. So, beautiful. The amount of hate-alongs I saw last night was crazy, said Daniel. Let them hate. When they hate, it's because you're successful. Nobody hates unsuccessful people. They don't care about them. When we were finishing 8th, they laughed at us. Now we're top in the next round of the Champions League. They're hating on us. I'd rather they were hating on us than laughing at us. It means we're doing something right. So the more they hate us, the more we're doing something right, people. Window shopper settings, 50 cent. Anyway, let's get into it. As I said, big up to everyone who tuned in yesterday. I think we're at 153,000 likes for the stream. Fan cams out as well. Make sure you follow the TikTok account, Curtis Shaw TV. All the goal reactions are on there. If you're on there, follow me on there. I'm on the player ratings on AFTV. There's a fan cam on AFTV. I'm on at 6 o'clock tonight with Turkish on his channel. It's everywhere. You want some content? It's here, there, everywhere. Lap it up. Enjoy the victory. And yeah, man, let's keep doing what we got to do. Siri, play Nas, hate me now. Well, we might have to cut the P Diddy parts out though for obvious reasons. But yeah, the Nas bit we can definitely listen to. People, right, let's go. I did do player ratings, and I may have edited 1 or 2 of them, but I do stick with a lot of the things I said. If you watch that player ratings, I always say a victory doesn't mean everybody played well, and a defeat doesn't mean everybody played bad. I think the positive is we beat Porto 1-0 on the night. That's the first thing to understand. We won the game 1-0. We beat them. We kept a clean sheet. We beat them. But it led to penalties. And what I was a little bit disappointed with was I didn't think we did enough to score the second goal. And I think when you go to a penalty shootout, it turns into a flick of the coin. Although there is quality involved, we took 4 fantastic penalties. You know, there's no guarantee your goalkeeper's going to save one. And you can take a good penalty and the goalkeeper guesses right and saves it. So we needed an element of luck as well as some quality from the penalties. I felt after scoring in the first half, there's no way we wouldn't get the second goal. And Porto made life very difficult for us. And as I said in the fan cam, I think we seriously missed Gabriel Martinelli's pace. I thought we were a bit slow and one-dimensional. I mean, the crazy thing, and I'm not all into the stats, but we have to take stats into account. 120 minutes of football, 4 shots on target. Porto had 3 shots on target. You've got to do more than that. You've got to do more than that to win a game. Champions League is different. You might be 1-0 down from the first leg. You've got to try and beat them 2-0. You don't want to keep going to penalties. So we've got to shoot more. Shoot from the edge of the box. Odegaard, pull the trigger. Shoot from outside the penalty area. 30 yards, who knows? Deflection goes in, flies top corner. Hit the target more often. You know, that's what I think Arsenal need to do. But listen, we got there in the end, people. Let's go into the player ratings. I know some people were on to me about my Kivior rating. I gave him 7 out of 10. I did watch the extended highlights back. And we do halves on this channel, so I can itch up 1 or 2 of the ratings by halves. But yeah, man, I want to see what you guys think in the chat. Thermal said, we hope this experience gives the team and manager confidence. The crowd was nervous. It's clear we are more controlled and slower in Europe. Yeah. And Harold said, crazy but true. Martin Odegaard 8, still underrated, needs more respect. Well, he'll get his respect in the player ratings. We haven't been in the Champions League for a long time. Some of these players haven't been there. So there is going to be an adjustment period. Hey. I didn't give Saka a 2 or a 3. I did say I think his performance was maybe a 2 or a 3. But I itched it up a little bit because of the penalty. But let me get to it. David Raya, 10 out of 10. I'm just letting you know from the get-go. Like, hero tax. There's nowhere for me to... Some of you might think, yeah, but he didn't play all that well in the... 10 out of 10. Forget it. Right? There's no conversation. No conversation needed. 10 out of 10. Superhero Clark Kent settings. The man saved 2 penalties out of 5. Out of 4. Saved 2 out of 4 and got his hand to one of them. I watched Aaron Ramsdale, no disrespect, and I don't want to do the... We're not all of a sudden going to start hammering Ramsdale because we know Raya's the number 1. But I watched Ramsdale for 2 years not save 1 penalty. This guy saved 2 out of 4 and nearly saved the 3rd one. 10 out of 10. There's nowhere else for me to go, I'm afraid. Man of the match, hero settings. He turned up when we needed him. I wasn't sure. How good is David Raya at saving penalties? Ali McCoy saying before the penalties, Arsenal should substitute Raya for Ramsdale because he thinks David Raya's not big enough to save penalties. He's only 6 foot, which is quite small for a Premier League goalkeeper. Brother, you stood tall last night, my friend. Absolutely outstanding. That's what we needed. And he turned up when we needed him the most. 10 out of 10. Man of the match. Superb. Don't forget, this guy had a good game. 3 shots on target. Collected his crosses, as you said. Kicking was good. He played well in the game as well. So he deserves that rating. He's quick. Maybe not being as tall allows him to move quicker. I don't know. We knew from the moment Mikel Arteta was giving his granddad a shirt and hugging him, you know, it was over for Rambo. But David Raya, 10 out of 10, superb performance. Let's go to the back 4. I'm going to start with Jakub Kivior. I watched the extended highlights back. Last night I gave him a 7 in the player ratings on AFTV. I have watched the game back, most of it, not all of it. You know, the extra time was boring. And I will give him an 8. I will give him an 8 because he did do well against the live wire. He got done a couple times, but he did do well. He did do well. He had a good game. It wasn't easy for him because Trossard doesn't have the pace really to get back and help him that much. I mean, I gave him a 7. I'll give him an 8. I was going to give him 7.5. I was going to give him a 7.5. Do you know what? Where's my notes? Let me get my notes out. I'm going to get the pen and paper out. What did I actually write down? What did I actually write down? Right, what did I give it? Pen and paper, no iPads, people. See, I actually wrote down 7.5. I'm going to be honest. I wrote down 7.5. We'll go with the community. What are you saying? 7.5 or 8? Some of you saying 8, 7. Kivio 7.5 was excellent with 1v1s. 8. His improvement has been wild. 7, I think. Kiwi brother is slow. 7. No, we do halves on here, bro. Give him an 8. Listen, I was going to give him 7.5. There's a lot of 8s in the community. I'll give it him. But, listen, my question is this, right? Is Kivio's improved massively, right? But if we got Madrid in the next round, if we got Bayern Munich in the next round, and let's say we got Bayern Munich, at the moment their right winger's Leroy Sané, who's electric. If we're going into that game, Tomiyasu's fit and Timber's fit, Kivio's not playing, in my opinion. I think he'd get dropped for somebody who's a bit better defensively. So he's good. But he's still not the answer. But the last-ditch tackle was excellent. I still think Tomiyasu is a better left-back than him. Zinchenko, I mean, that's a whole other argument. I'll give him an 8. We won the game. It was, a massive victory for us. But I did write down 7.5. But community tax, you've leaned on me. I thought Conceição, the right winger, got past him a few times quite easily. But he is a centre-back playing at left-back, so we'll let him off. I give him an 8 on the strength of the community. Let's go to Ben White on the other side. See, I thought Ben White was excellent. I am going to give Ben White an 8, by the way. He didn't get forward as much, and Saka maybe needed a bit of help from him, but Ben White was solid. I don't remember that left winger getting past him. We were saying that he should be substituted, and we missed him when Zinni gave away the corner. We'll talk about Zinni, mate, in great detail. Benny Blanco gets an 8 out of 10. Benny Blanco was quality last night. He's been excellent. Curtis, love your donkey impression of Havertz, even though it's a horse. But, horse, donkey, similar. I suppose horse is just a taller donkey in my eyes. Somebody said in the comments, why are you being so disrespectful calling Havertz a donkey? Bro, his actual nickname is Donkey. People think I'm still dissing him, calling him Donkey. That's his nickname. He loves donkeys. The players call him Donkey. People think I'm disrespecting him. I'm bigging him up. And I'm actually not joking. Do your history, people. It's there. Donkey. Shrek. Let's go to the 2 centre-backs. I gave Saliba a 6 out of 10 last night. I'm going to give him a little bit more, but not much more. I'm going to be honest. I'm giving him 6.5. I'll give him a 0.5. He got caught out of position and dragged the guy down. I thought he improved after that. I'm going to be honest. I thought he improved after that. He had a few shaky moments, but maybe he was playing a little bit on emotion at the start of the game, and we needed that calm, cool head. He worried me a couple of times. At the time he grabbed the guy on the edge of the box, their manager was going crazy for the free kick. I let him off. With it. He got booked. But he was better after the yellow card, but a little bit shaky. A few times I saw him just booting the ball forward, which isn't like him. He could have given away a second yellow card, honestly. So I let him off. I'm giving him 6.5. I watched it back. I thought there was some shaky moments. I can't get him up to the 7. And I love Saliba. I'm judging you purely off the game, not what you've done this season. Elliot said, solid performance, but had a bit of a head rush. Those head rushers can cost you, bro. You do that against a better player, But we got away with it. I give him 6.5. Still above average, 0.5 above. Gabriel Magalhaes. I gave him an 8 last night. I don't know whether I've gone too high with the 8 for him. I thought he was a little bit shaky on the ball a bit. Defensively, he was good. He was tired in extra time as well, and they kept fouling him. I've written down 7.5/8 for Gabriel Magalhaes. I'm leaning on the community again. It's been a long night. What are you guys saying on Magalhaes? 8, 8.5, 7, 7.5. 8 is fair. 7.5 for Gabby. Get in there, you midget. Oh, apologies if I offended anyone with that. I called David Raya a midget. Uh, 7, he wasn't 2 ratings above. Yeah, I'll give him 6. I'll give him 7.5. I give Saliba 6.5. I'll give him 7.5. I think he was 1 above him, but he's a clean sheet, so fair enough. And he is a warrior. Let's go to the midfield. I will start with Jorginho, who came off. I thought he was okay, not great. I'll give him 6.5. Didn't play those passes forward as much. I don't think we had as much control of the midfield as we were hoping to have. Porto had a lot more of the ball than I expected. Rice was getting pushed back. Jorginho wasn't really playing those passes as well. He was solid without being spectacular. And he got taken off. I'll give him a 6.5. I give him a 6.5. He did do, I mean, you're saying kept rolling around. He was good at winning free kicks, but I just don't think he was as effective as he has been in the Premier League. 6.5, just above average, but not. You know, some of you giving him 7.5 and that. I don't think he was that good. I got to be honest. I give him 6.5. Ricky said Jorginho wanted a few of those defense splitting passes. He had to play a lot deeper. And again, I agree with you, Kev. I said, listen, for as good as Jorginho is, Arsenal have to use the rest of this month to get Thomas Partey fit and try and get him in the team and in form. Because Jorginho has played well, but an informed Thomas Partey takes us up another level, in my opinion. So I still am looking at Partey as, can we get him fit and get him back in the team? Declan Rice ran his socks off, put in a shift, scored a very important penalty in the shootout. I thought he was average in the game. Not easy for him, especially when Jorginho came off. He had a lot of running to do with not a lot of help. I just don't think he influenced the game that much on the ball. Didn't get forward as much as he has done in recent games. And I thought Porto made life difficult for us. I'm going to match him up with Jorginho at 6.5. I thought he was okay. I give him just above average. I thought he had very little influence on that game. Put in a couple of good tackles. Put in a shift. He ain't going to play at 8, 9, 10 every week. He's not a miracle worker. Our midfield was a little bit, but give him some credit, people. He took a big penalty and stood up. You've got to remember, 5 penalties. We took 4. Jesus apparently was the 5th penalty taker. That means Eddie Nketiah, who's a striker, was not going to take 1 to 5 penalties. You have to credit him for taking one of those penalties. So give him a 6.5, Big unknown C who said, watching from Dominican Republic. Honeymoon settings, missed the game. But we broke that last 16 hoodoo after 14 years, bro. Not 12. Big up Raya on his answer to Henri. Yeah, enjoy your honeymoon, bro. 6.5 for Declan Rice. Not a disrespect. He just wasn't at his pinnacle. He set his standards so high that, we expect so much from him. Martin Odegaard. For me, I watched the game, most of it back. I skipped a lot of the extra time. It was a snore fest. I am very critical of this guy at times. Not because I don't rate him. It's actually because I do rate him so much. I'm going full screen. I am going full screen. I thought yesterday he stood up. He stood up. He really did. He did a lot of things in the game that would have gone unnoticed, but collectively, when you add them all together, the importance. And as I said, we lacked control in the midfield. Said it before and I've said it again, he's the most creative player at Arsenal Football Club and is the most creative that we've had since Mesut Ozil and Santi Cazorla. The ball that splits that back four for Trossard's goal is outstanding. The guy was floating in the air like a genie after he played the pass. Go back and watch the replay. Shoots. He passes and then he's in the air for about 2 seconds. I didn't know what was going on. I thought he was on a magic carpet. Who else split them open last night apart from him? Look at the work rate. Look at the pressing. I seen this guy run back and tackle somebody and put them on the floor. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was his doppelganger. I said, who the hell's that? That ain't Odegaard. That's somebody else imitating him. Scores his penalty. Takes the first penalty. El Capitano. And genuinely, like a big brother, I'm honestly proud of that performance from Martin Odegaard. I'm proud of it. No, genuinely proud of it. That was a mature leadership captain's performance. He's not Patrick Vieira, Tony Adams. He ain't going to grab you around the neck and shout at you. He's not that guy. He never will be that guy. I don't expect him to be that guy. But the guy yesterday, he stood up. If David Raya doesn't save the 2 penalties, Martin Odegaard's man of the match. I'm giving him 9.5 out of 10. And some of you might think, wow, that's a bit high. Didn't score in the game. He did so many things in that game that collectively we needed leadership. We were struggling, people. You saw extra time. We were knackered. Havertz was tired. Rice, our team was shattered. Martin Odegaard yesterday was absolutely outstanding. He was a Viking yesterday. No snotty hair flicks. Leadership. Lead the team. Score the penalty first. Create the goal. Absolute pure class. 35 million. Daylight robbery. Daylight robbery. Edu, I've criticised you at times, my friend. You know, giving away Aubameyang and high-fiving. And all the players we've given away for free. £35 million for Martin Odegaard in this day and age. How much is he worth now? One of the best attacking midfielders in Europe. Absolutely outstanding. Had a goal disallowed. That if Havertz doesn't want to pull Pepe's shirt, he scores. Honestly, Mr. Cool Bush, I was the same. I thought, he played all right. Bro, he played so well. He played so well. He creates the goal. Some of his passing. He's the key. He unlocks the door for us. He's vital. Without him, we're out. We're out yesterday, 100%. His ability to press for an attacking midfielder. You think about David Silva's, Juan Mata's, Isco's, who am I missing? Mesut Ozil. You didn't see attacking midfielders go and press like that. They weren't that kind of player. This guy never stops pressing. Honestly, outstanding performance. Genuinely proud of him. That was a real skipper performance. There was no snot in his hair yesterday, I'll tell you that. Great performance from the skipper. Let's go into the front three. Yeah. You know, there's a few interesting ones here for different reasons. Who do I go with first? I don't know where to start. All right, as Drake said, start from the bottom. Now we're here. Starboy. I'm a star boy, and I'm gonna chase the and I'm gonna chase the I don't know the words, but you know the song, The Weekend. And I'm gonna day. I was looking for The Weekend. I'm a star boy. I'm still looking. Hello? Hello? Anyone in there? Saka, is that you? That was Bukayo Lukaku. Who was that guy playing right wing for Arsenal last night? I need to know. Who was that? Did they go and get... Did Trossard bring Lukaku back from Belgium after a night out? Because that to me looked like Romelu Saka. I said on player ratings, possibly the worst game I've ever seen from Saka. Now, let me give him some credit. Big up Don Draper in the chat. Big penalty. Big penalty. Missed in the Euros. We know what penalties are to Saka. It's a touchy subject. Big penalty. The guy stepped up and bagged. But honestly, you might as well have played The Weekend right wing. He would have probably done more during the game than what Saka did. Maybe he could have sang to the fullback and put him off and then ran past him. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know what was going on. That's why I said, when they start talking about world class, is he better than Foden? What have I been saying? Withdraw yourself from the argument. Because when things like that happen, it'll get thrown back at you. I'm going to be honest. I'm gonna speak my truth. I gave Saka a 4 and I'm sticking to it. He gets the 4 purely on the penalty. The performance was absolutely dreadful. It's a bad night at the office. We move on from it. You do better the next time. You know, we don't have to make a big deal out of it. It was terrible. The 4 is based on the fact you scored a very important penalty. The performance was dreadful. Genuinely. And I love Saka. I will defend Saka, and I'll give him the Starboy tax in the player ratings. I can't defend that one. You know, there's only so much defending I can do. I got to be like prime Tony Adams to defend that performance. The 4 is purely on the penalty. And some of you saying even the 4's too high. It probably is. It probably is, if I'm being real. But I'm defending him. I'm going to try and defend him. 1v1 defending. But I don't know what the hell he was doing. He might have been drinking with Trossard over the weekend. Probably should be a free. Probably should be a free. It probably should. I actually wrote down 3.5. But I'm going to give him a 4. But a lot of you saying 4's too high. Some LSU saying I'm being too harsh. Guys, let me know. Let me know. I want to know your ratings. 4 is harsh. Give him a 5. There's no way on earth he's a 5. 6 is average. He was not 1 below average. He was not 1 below. That was... I actually think I'm being kind giving him a 4. I was going to give him a 2 or a 3. 3 is fair. Still Starboy. 5. 4.5. 3. Robbie would say 7. I think Robbie gave him a 5. Not harsh enough. 3.5. 4 is fair. Saka is a 3. We move on from it. We move on. Don said give him a 1 for the penalty. 4 is fine. Wendell pocketed him. Fair play to him. I didn't even think that Wendell was that good. Let me just go through these super chats because they're mounting up. Guna Carlos, who do you want to avoid in the next round? Anyone not named Atletico and Inter, they're low. Yeah, listen, I don't want... There's 4 teams ideally that I don't want, which is a lot in the last 8, and we're one of them. So that only leaves us with 3 other options. I don't want nothing to do with Man City, right? I don't want a team that we're in a title race with and having to play them then 3 times in 4 weeks, twice in Europe and once in the league. I don't want Real Madrid. I don't think we're quite ready for the Bernabeu yet. I think we need a little bit more time. And I don't want Inter or Atletico. Them 2 teams are the better version of Porto with that defence. I don't want nothing to do with them. I would hate us to play Atletico Madrid. I don't want nothing to do with them. I want a team that wants to attack us. I would actually... If we got Dortmund, if we got PSV, even though they're big teams, even PSG and Barcelona, I think we could beat them. We'd have to go up a level, but I think we could beat them. White Glove said, usually I agree with your ratings, Big C. I thought Ben White was awful, defensively okay, but he did give the ball away a couple of times. You're right, he did, especially in extra time. I skipped a lot of extra time on the replay, so maybe watching it back this morning, I didn't see them parts. I thought defensively was solid. Going forward, not as good. So, yeah, maybe I was a bit kind giving him an 8, but I'll let him off. He's got a great suntan. Lee Burnell said, big up Big C, C-Unit Business, rude boy, bless. Big up yourself, Lee. Bo said, and he smashed that first penalty into the net. Yeah, Martin Odegaard, what a performance. Chaitanya said, big up Big C. Did you see Raya's interview with CBS? Omri asked him, Prem or Champions League? He said both. That's amazing. And Saka actually said the Premier League, which was a little bit... That was interesting that he said that. Raya said, we're in both competitions. I want both. Saka said the Premier League. So, interesting, different answers. Kevin said Saka wasn't great, but didn't have help from the refs. Do you know what? I can't even defend him. I can't. I don't even think they were that dirty in the game, really. Yeah, they gave him a kick, but as I keep saying, somebody said to me last night at the ground, yeah, but they doubled up on him. I said, didn't they used to double up on Iron Robin? Don't they double up on Salah? Didn't they double up on Gareth Bale? Don't they double up on Messi? I'm just comparing him to left wingers. Didn't they double up on Riyad Mahrez? Right wingers, left-footed. That's what they do. What do you think they do to Vinicius Jr.? He needs more overlap. He needs the rep. No, man. Rafa Leao, they double up on him. Got a Milan fan in here. Big up Milanista. They double up. It's the first thing you do as a manager. The wingers are danger. Double up. What do they do to Alexis Sanchez? Double up on him. Used to rip both of them apart. I can't give Saka that excuse. They will double up on you every week because now your reputation is high. You can't deal with a double up. That's the difference between a very good player and a world-class player. The world-class players, they'll take both of you on. The very good player might struggle against 2 of them, and that's the levels, bro. If we're going to give him that world-class thing that I don't think he's quite at yet, you got to learn to deal with 2 defenders. Take both of them on, and you create space for other people. Let's go to Leandro Trossard on the other side. Goal tax gets him a higher rating. I don't think he played that well. He put in a bit of a defensive shift. He wasn't great. I would have probably given him a 5. But I'm going to itch him up because you can't underestimate the importance of that goal. You just can't. I'm giving him a 7. I think, where was the goal coming from, people? We didn't look like scoring really for the rest of the game. The goal's so big, I got to give him a 7. Crunch time. 1-0. He scores, nutmegs Pepe. So I give him 2 more for the goal. But the performance again, I still don't think the performance was good. And I think we need Gabriel Martinelli back. I think Trossard's best performances are when he plays central. I think left wing, hugging the touchline, having to run at people, doesn't suit him. Doesn't suit him. He's better when he plays false 9. You know, and he's central and he can shoot and he can go both ways. But the goal's so important, I'm giving him a 7. You can't underestimate how big that goal is. And yeah, and also he looked bang on like the ref. I don't know if the ref's his dad, his brother, I don't know. And then we'll finish with Kai Havertz in terms of starting 11. I give him a 6. I thought he was average. No better, no worse. Work rate was good. Do you know what? I wrote down here 5.5/6. The 5.5 was because I was frustrated with the fact that he pulled back Pepe when I think we would have scored if he didn't pull him. I don't think he needed to pull his shirt. However, you went up to Conceição and pushed him after he'd been mouthing off in the press. So actually, because I'm shameless, because this channel is like no other channel that we're going to go on, I'm going to put you up to a 6.5. And then on top of that, you scored a penalty. I'm going to give you a shameless 7. No, I can't give him a 7. I'll give him 6.5. Trossard scored a big goal in the game, and he might have cost us one. But you pushed the manager, and I'm proud of you for doing that. You showed some backbone, and that's what we need. And the penalty, the slow run-up, stuttered run-up. It was, what a penalty. What a penalty. I can't lie. When I seen him taking the penalty, I said, raw. But the only reason I'm not giving him the 7, you pulled back Pepe, and I don't think you needed to. I think we would have still scored if you didn't pull his shirt. So he needs to learn from that. White Glove said Kai worked his socks off for 120 minutes. Respect. I've never once come on this channel and criticised Kai Havertz's work rates. One thing I've never said, and I've never questioned his technical ability. I've always said technically he's a gifted footballer and his work rate's excellent. It's about the production. The bench wasn't the bench. Oh man, let me get into the bench. Let's start with the positivity off the bench. I thought Gabriel Jesus was lively when he came on. Nearly scored with his first touch. Again, I think the manager, if I'm being honest, I think he mismanaged the situation. He brings Jesus on up front. He looks lively. Then he brings on Eddie and Nketiah and moves Jesus to the left. Eddie does nothing through the middle. Jesus then gets stuck on the left and doesn't really impact the game. Through the middle, he looked decent. I'll give him a 6, 6.5. I thought he looked lively when he came on. That's where the positivity for the bench ends, people, because when you bring substitutes on, you're looking for impact in some way, shape or form. Maybe the level of work rate goes up because you've got more energy than the guy that's just come off. In the case of Zinchenko, Kivior's tired. Zinchenko will give us something more on the ball. He'll step into midfield. He'll open up their defence. What does this guy do when he comes on? He gives the ball away. He has a heavy touch like he's in Timberland boots, the same ones that Saka must have been playing in, and gives him a corner and defends like he's never played football in his life. Sell him. Play him in midfield or get rid of him. I knew it was too good to be true. There was no way Pep Guardiola was going to sell us 2 title-winning players for 35 and 45 million pound if there was not something wrong. You bought that car and thought you got a bargain. You've driven down the motorway and you realise There's oil leaking out of it. And there's a rattling sound in the engine. This is a dodgy car. Sold as seen. No refunds. The brother can't defend. And you bring him on, you go, okay, I know he can't defend that well, but at least he can pass. And the guy can't pass. What's happened to him? You got to sell him in the summer. Got to sell him. Got to sell him in the summer. I'm sorry. It's Wembley market settings. Yeah, you bought some Pradas and the Prada signs peeling. Nah, Yami, I'm not on it, bro. I'm not on. This guy is a Premier League winner, international experience. Come on and give us that experience. Calm the team down. We need you to come on and calm the team down. We're young, we're emotional, we're trying to deal with all this, and you come on and throw a petrol can into the fire. Absolutely horrific when he came on. And I know you'll say it's a sub, he only came on for 20. What the hell was that? Calm down. Calm everyone down. And you come on and... What do you rate that performance? Because I don't know what that is. I actually don't know what that is. That is not applicable. I'll give him a 4. I'll just match him up with Saka. I probably should... in fact, I'm marking him low. I'm giving him a 3. I'm giving him a 3. Saka scored a penalty. At least he did something. This guy, he comes on and has a heavy touch and corner in the last few minutes. I think he could be done at Arsenal. I really do. And some of you might be in the comments going, it's harsh. He's terrible at the moment. If he's not good on the ball, you're finished. Because the one thing you always defended was, yeah, but he's quality on the ball. Now, oh man, I had to go full screen. Honestly, I had to rant about the way that guy played. I think he's won the Premier League 3 or 4 times. You come on and play like that. You couldn't play for Pep like that. Pep would have him by the throat. Everybody sit down. Nobody talk. You think you can come on and play like that for us? And let me finish off. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Let me finish off with Edward. I said to myself yesterday, it's the 13th. Yesterday was the 12th of March. I said on the 12th of March, 2024, in a Champions League last 16 knockout game, 1-0 up, needing a second goal to qualify. I turned to my screen. You've got Partey, you've got Nelson, you've got all these whoever options. I look at my screen. I see the King of Zamunda. I see Norbit. I see Axel Foley. I see Beverly Hills Cop coming to America, trading places. Nutty Professor coming on the pitch. What the hell is this guy going to do? What is this guy going to do in a Champions League knockout game? You're bringing on Edward, cheddar cheese and Nketiah. What is he going to do? What's he going to do? You think he's going to score against Pepe? 41 years of age. He ain't doing nothing. He spent more time sliding around on the floor. I thought I was watching Cool Runnings. I thought that was Saka. Kiss my lucky egg. Saka, you're dead. Yeah, man. I thought that was Cool Runnings. Man's bobsleighing around the pitch. What's he playing in? Flip-flops? Crocs? Yeezy slides? What did he have on his feet? Ain't the guy sponsored by Nike, Adidas? The man's wearing Yeezy slides on the pitch. You might as well have Eddie Murphy up front. He might have told a joke, made Pepe laugh, got a goal. What the hell was that? Have you ever seen 2 substitutes come on and impact a game in such a stupid fashion as what Zinchenko and Eddie Nketiah did last night? We need to sell some players in the summer. The stories are over. If I'm Emile Smith-Rowe and I'm sitting there, yo, brother, I got the number 10 shirt on, 120 bags a week. You turned down 40 million from Villa. I won the under 21 Euros in the summer. You said I need to get fit. I've been fit for months. And I'm sitting here, not 1 minute of football, and I'm seeing Nutty Professor come on and slide around the pitch. And Zinchenko give the ball away. I said, Ross, what is this? 3 out of 10 for Eddie. Pathetic. But, absolutely ridiculous performance. Aaron Ramsdale didn't come on. He played better than them too. Just for not coming on. They might as well have brought Thierry Henry on. He was there. Thierry would have done more than them. I'd have just registered him before the game. Respect the Crocs, Big C. They're the most comfortable shoes I've ever owned. Bro, he was sliding around like he was in roller skates. I thought he had Bowers on. Anyone who had Bowers when you was younger, you're right there with me right now. They weren't the inline skates. It was the 4 ones, you know. If you know, you know. Richard said, Paddy Power did Saka dirty. Picture of Shamak Saka when Arsenal playing Burnley and Sheffield United. Oh, it's harsh. Lee said, selling blood clot, rude boy. Yo, there's enough of them we need to sell. If it was me, I'm telling you, outside the armory, I'll have players lined up. You buy El Neni, you get a Cedric for free. You know what I mean? Buy a carrier bag, I'll give you Eddie and Nketiah for nothing. You get Zinchenko on the house as well. Selling blood clot. You're right. Sam has too critical. These guys just broke a 14-year record. They're playing anxious and on that. No, on that, man. What do you think this is? Nursery, bro. I give the guys credit who deserve credit, man. Bond them talks. Pressure. Them man on 200 bags a week. They're paid to deal with that pressure. This ain't kindergarten, bro. This ain't nursery. Them man under pressure. You know what I mean? In the nursery thinking, where's mum and dad? Well, I've been left with this stranger. This nursery teacher. I feel sorry for the youths in nursery. I don't feel sorry for them, man. Feel sorry for what? They should be embracing that pressure. This is what I'm in the game for. This is what I want to be, where I want to be in my career. You want to beat Real Madrid? I don't feel sorry for Arsenal. Bond that. You need to go. You're probably going to have to go Bernabeu, Allianz Arena, Etihad. You can't deal with Porto at home. You can't deal with... Nah, man. They're paid to deal with that pressure. You know? So I want to see them deal with that pressure. I hear you, Samas, but at the same time, respectfully, other channels are available, as Goatinelli says. But yeah, man. Anyway, player rating's done. Mikel Arteta, I give you a 7. I give him a 7. We won the game, so I give him a 7. But I felt if we'd have made better changes, maybe earlier, we could have probably won that game in normal time or extra time. But I think his thing was he was keeping the penalty takers on. What was risky, you know? I've never the nursery. Think about nursery. Yeah, you're 3, 2, 3, 4 years old, mum and dad, all you've ever known, and they dash you in this place with all these kids making a whole heap of noise, and this nursery teacher's telling you what to do. Yeah, I probably would be nervous 2 years old. Playing in the Champions League on 250 grand a week as a footballer at the top level. Yeah, there is pressure, but you have to deal with that, bro. I didn't feel sorry for him. I want to see him live with that pressure and embrace that pressure, you know? So anyway, but we're through. We're qualified. We've done our job, and let's see what happens in the next round. Before we just move on from that, I want to know, who do you guys want in the next round? Because as I said, and I did mention this at the start, there was a lot of people at the Emirates last night. Give me Real Madrid. I'll take anyone. Who do you want? And I said, I'd rather go under the radar, to be honest. I hope PSV beat Dortmund and we get PSV. If PSV don't beat Dortmund, I'll take Dortmund. I think Barca are beatable, but they were very good last night, I got to be honest. Man City is an absolute no chance do I want them. I don't want Real Madrid. I don't think we're ready to go to the Bernabeu. And I do not want Inter or Atletico Madrid, because those two teams, especially Atletico, they are Porto, but the better version. Like, they will defend, they will roll around, they will manipulate the ref. Simeone will be going crazy. Look at Conceição and all the madness. I do not want Atletico. I don't want Inter. I do not want Real Madrid. And I do not want Man City. I want PSV, Dortmund. They're the two I'd rather get. And if I have to take two of maybe the slightly better teams, I'll take PSG or Barcelona, because I think they will both try and attack us. And I think we'd be able to score goals. Bayern Munich, I mean, yeah, Harry Kane. It would be a big game. It would be a big game. And don't forget, Champions League draw, by the way, on Friday, 11 a.m. I'll go live from 10:30 a.m. I'm definitely not scared. I'm not scared of anyone. But ultimately, as an Arsenal fan, you don't want Man City or Real Madrid. Come on, at this stage. Inter got to the Champions League final last season because they went under the radar. I want us to be that team that goes under the radar, you know. Mbappe, listen. He's a great player, of course, but Newcastle beat PSG. So We're gonna play somebody good. Porto is a good warm up for Inter Atletico. I just wouldn't want to see that Simeone low block, man. I really wouldn't. Benny Blanco, your defense is in trouble. Oh, and Nketiah's in the room. Yeah, your defense is probably in no trouble when Nketiah's in the room. Big up Benny Blanco. Danilo said, is that Shamak in the picture? I want Barca. It's payback. 2011 game at the Emirates gives me chills. Just to get robbed in the rematch. And they cheated, man. They paid refs. Thermal said PSG, Barca, PSV, Dortmund, hell with the rest. That's where I'm at. They're the four I'd rather get. Definitely agree with that. But yeah, listen, we got through. It was great. There was all kinds of antics after the game regarding the managers. C-Unit, my super chat from yesterday. Ice cold pens and saves. Underestimated Porto, but we held out. Even though attack was not firing. Big up C-Unit in the community. I'm so happy. Apologies if I miss your super chat, bro. There were so many comments. It was crazy. We were at 10.2k at one stage, but big up to you. Make sure you hit the like button. 2.5k locked in. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for all the new subscribers as well. Last night, I think we got 700 subscribers or 600 and 154,000 views we're on at the moment. So big up the whole community. And I'm live with Turkish on his channel at 6 o'clock tonight. So tune in for that. That'll be vibes 100%. A couple things I want to get into now we handled last night is there's a bit of transfer news, couple of bits to talk about. Interesting, Arsenal being linked with a goalkeeper today. And does any of the American community know much about this guy? Arsenal are eyeing a summer deal for USA and Columbus Crew goalkeeper Patrick Schulte. I thought that was an actor. What's the guy's? Patrick Swayze. That was it, innit? Patrick Swayze. That was the actor. Patrick Schulte. As they assess options, should Aaron Ramsdale move at Arsenal, Schulte is seen as having a similar profile to Matt Turner. I mean, that is a sentence you do not want to read. I remember when I first saw Matt Turner, I said I'd rather sign Tina Turner, and people said I was being harsh. It turns out the guy was trash for Arsenal, and he's been trash at Forest. When they say Schulte is a similar profile to Matt Turner, that does not offer me confidence, my friend. That does not offer me confidence. I mean, anyone in the community, has anybody seen this guy play? I mean, I'm assuming... I don't know if he actually starts for America because I think Matt Turner actually plays ahead of him. And is it Stefan, the guy who was at Man City? Yeah, look, he's only got 2 caps for the US, so I don't know what's going on there. I mean, that does not feel... He's 23 years of age. Anyone know anything about him? It could be another PR signing, Kroenke. It's crazy, isn't it? We signed 2 American players, Austin Trusty and Matt Turner, and within a year or so, we sold both of them. So is he just using it as an opportunity because he thinks, right, they might struggle to get a big move from the MLS to a decent Premier League club, get them to Arsenal, push their stock higher, then sell them on to clubs in the Premier League? That's what it does feel like, you know. But anyone know anything about him? I mean, I'm calling him Patrick Swayze until further notice. Doesn't fill me with confidence. US tour in the summer, yeah, we'll probably sign him, but I don't know nothing about it. I don't want to criticize him without watching him. He might be good. Sam has said all teams, they will be afraid of us. They've been watching us. No team is a slouch. Arsenal will put fear in everyone. Schulte is good as a squad player. Well, if you've seen him, I appreciate your insight. Brian said Arsenal through to the quarterfinals and top of the league, burning some ganja and listening to some old school reggae tunes. Life is good. Hey, big up, man. Enjoy your Wednesday. We can just watch other teams in the Champions League tonight. So Patrick Schulte, I won't exactly be rushing to print his name on the back of my shirt, that's for sure. But Dre said he'd rather have me in goal. Hey, Dre, I'm sure you could do a job there, bro. I'm sure you could. Football Fan View said it's Turner 2.0. I don't know. It's an interesting... I don't know, write him off before he arrives, but doesn't fill me with confidence. And the second bit of transfer news, every day at the moment we just get linked with strikers, don't we? Which one are we going to end up getting? But Arsenal have made Sporting Lisbon's Victor Gyökeres their number one striker target this summer. The player has an £85 million release clause. Apparently, Sporting want as close to that as possible, although it is believed they would take a little bit less. They're not stupid. They paid 20-odd million for him last summer. If they could get 65, 70 million for a guy after one season, they're going to flip it. But the problem you've got is there's so many clubs looking for strikers this summer that they probably won't need to take less than what he's worth. You know, they probably say, you're going to have to pay 85 million to get him, because Tony, Osimhen, Gyökeres, they're probably the three transfers that clubs will be looking at the most in terms of strikers. Maybe Santiago Jimenez, maybe Sesko, maybe Openda, one or two others, maybe Ollie Watkins, although he'd cost a fortune. So I think somebody would have to pay that. The good thing is, if Arsenal want Gyökeres, there's a release clause. Pay it, no negotiation, get him in. If that's the guy, if he's the number one target, rather than waiting, going, oh, will you take 75? No, just pay 85 and get him. I don't know if he's worth it. I don't know how good he truly is. He's had one good season in Portugal and another good season in the Championship. Does that value him at £85 million? But the problem you've got now, the market is so high and inflated. If you let him have one more good year there, it'll cost you 100 million plus. Because they'll go, he's done it for 2 years. He's done it in the Champions League. He went to the Euros and did it. And all of a sudden, he's going to cost you even more. You know? So this is the crazy thing about strikers now. Isak, they're saying Newcastle prepared to sell in the summer for 80 to 90 million. But Isak's injury prone. So would you pay 80, 90 million for Isak, who's been injury prone? 110 million release clause for Osimhen. Didn't do well for Nigeria. Doesn't look amazing when he plays, but does have a good goal record in Italy. Is he worth the gamble? Do you think he takes it to the next level? Then you've got Ivan Toney. Banged 20 goals last year, but he's had the ban. Not the quickest. Turns 28 this week. Will cost 60, 70 million. Do you pay 70 million for a 28-year-old? So every one of the strikers has a question mark next to their name. It's about figuring out who the right one is. Boniface has had injuries as well. ACLs apparently. I didn't even know that. Get this guy in, said Mr. Cool Bus Driver. Cello said Osimhen, ain't it? Gyökeres looks a good fit for us. I have to admit, Gyökeres looks good, but it's hard for me to judge him because of the league he's in. But I have been impressed with him. He's tall, he's powerful, he's aggressive, and he scores goals. But is he in a league that is not good enough? And would he be able to do it at this level? I don't know. And like you said, Moj, you know, Gabriel Jesus can't be the number one striker next year. And as much as we're scoring goals with Trossard up front or Havertz up front, I don't want us to start next season with one of those two playing up front. I want a specialist. Mohammed said I would take Tony. Don't know enough about Gyökeres. You know what? Let's get a poll in. Let's get a poll in. We'll get one poll in today. Atlanta Strip Club settings. Now, obviously, on these polls, unfortunately, I can only put 4 names on the poll, which is frustrating. So if you think it's a striker outside of this 4, then name them. I'm going to try and be realistic about the 4 that I name. We're not really linked with Watkins that much, so I'm not going to put him on the list. I think he'd cost a fortune as well. I'm going to put Osimhen. He's got a release clause. I'm going to put Gyökeres. He's got a release clause. I'm going to put Ivan Toney. We have been linked with him, and I think he'll go. And I'm going to put Isak because there are a lot of reports saying Newcastle would sell him for the right price. And we did try and sign him before. Listen, people saying Vlahovic apparently is going to sign a new contract. If you think Boniface or Openda or Sesko, feel free to throw them in. Osimhen, Gyökeres, Toney and Isak. I think those 4 are all gettable this summer. And, you know, they are all good players. But which one of them would you go for, people? I have to admit, I probably wouldn't go for Isak, to be honest, because the injuries concern me. Maybe the Premier League physically is too much for him. So I would actually remove him from the 4. I'm not going to lie. I do like the way this Gyökeres plays, but I just need to see more of him. I like the fact he's quick. He can run in behind. It's an expensive gamble. If you get it wrong, you're in a bad situation. But Tony, I do like. Osimhen could be a world beater, or he could be a Tammy Abraham. I don't know how good he is either. Sesko's there as well, but I'm not convinced by Sesko. Fabricator, our softy Curtis was giving high ratings yesterday with Robbie on the back of his neck. Did you see my post on Twitter? I saw it, bro. I thought my ratings were quite harsh. I gave Saka a 4. They couldn't believe it. But yeah, man, big up yourself, bro. Appreciate the super chat. So we are being linked with strikers anyway. Solanke, I don't want nothing to do with him. Zach Vision said, I want Gyökeres, but mainly I want Arteta to get his first choice. And that's where I'm at. Xerxes as well has been linked. I don't know if he's ready yet, but there's a rumour Bayern Munich are gonna get him back. They've got a buyback clause in his deal for when he went to, is it Bologna or one of them? So, Gyökeres for the celebration. Osimhen all day, every day. I mean, listen, Osimhen's got the strongest CV. He's won the title in Italy. He's played in the Champions League, been in the latter stages. So his reputation is the biggest, and he's a good age. He's 25. I think Gyökeres is 25. How old is Isak? And obviously, Ivan Toney turns 28. 24, Isak turns 25 in September. So those three are a similar age. So it's interesting. I think Bayern will probably recall Xerxes and then maybe sell him and just make a whole heap of profit on him. And they've got a cheap buyback clause on him. Isak knows the league. He knows it. And he's played well, but he's getting injured in this league. And that worries me. Does that mean physically his body's not able to take the Premier League? I remember watching an interview with Fernando Torres where he said the Premier League just wore him out. And in the end, it just ruined him, Listen, Osimhen, Toney, or Gyökeres for me. Whichever one Arteta wants gets one of the three. But I would like one of them. Toney is the guy. Isak got them brittle bones. Elliot said it's all about that Gyökeres celebration. And you were saying Osimhen at one stage, weren't you, Elliot? Would Arteta be able to manage a top striker? As I mentioned yesterday, in tight games, I'd go for 2 up front. Trossard and Jesus could benefit. Thing is, we're in a society now where football managers are obsessed with the midfield. They want total control. And people are not brave enough to play 2 in midfield. Everybody wants 3 in midfield because they feel like 2 would be overrun. So how do you get 2 strikers up there? I agree with you at times. I think 2 up front would work for us. And, Leicester won the title with 2 up front, with Vardy and Okazaki, and Atletico have had 2 up front at times. Real Madrid this year have played with like that diamond in midfield with 2 up front. So you can do it, but you need to change the shape to do that. It's difficult. Joseph said, how about we go for Darwin Núñez? Liverpool won't sell him. I actually think Darwin Núñez has a huge amount of potential if he can sort out his finishing, but that is a big if. For your information, Hugh Wizzy uploaded yesterday. Good to see. Big up Hugh Wizzy, man, back in business. I think he's been out of action for around 6 months. But listen, one thing I will say, I speak to Hugh Wizzy a little bit, but I haven't spoke to him for a long time. And listen, man, I think this, I don't even call this a job. This is light work. But sometimes people need a break. I'm sure he's got his reasons. He's a regular content creator. To come away for 6 months, I'm sure he had other things going off, but good to see Wizzy back in business, man, and hope to see more of his content. But yeah, listen, we handled business yesterday, and that was all that mattered. Arteta, after the game, had a real interesting situation occurring with the manager. I don't want to talk about it too much. Conceição said that Arteta said something about Conceição's family, and one of the family members that he mentioned was a family member that had passed away. This is what Conceição said, which is why he was so angry after the game. I think Arteta denied it. It is what it is. We have no factual evidence, so what can I really say about it? But listen, Arteta got us over the finish line, and that's what we needed. And it's about building from here and whether we can win one of these trophies. You know, we're sitting here on the 13th of March, top of the Premier League, and in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. It's an unbelievable position to be in. Equally, it's a position I want us to take advantage of, because it sounds so harsh and brutal. And some people will say, you know, this is too much, but people don't remember who was top. People only remember who finishes top. People don't talk about the fact Arsenal were top and flying last year. They go, Man City won the treble. They won the league. We need to learn from this position to get over the finish line. This team can create history, win the Champions League or win the Premier League. They'll be heroes. They'll be legends. So let's see what Arteta had to say. Quick waffle. It wasn't a long waffle settings, which is good. On his emotions after winning on penalties, he said, magic, what we expected, a really tough opponent, well organised, difficult to generate momentum in the game the way they play. That's credit to them. We scored a beautiful goal. They insisted in different ways in the way the game allowed us. It's a huge experience. We had to do it at the end with penalties. We prepared well with the coaches. Credit to them. Obviously, David Raya. He had difficult moments to start, but he stood up and had an incredible personality and ambition at the end, and he got rewarded. The Cone Man music to the world and back, people. On the impact tonight's result can have on the squad. For them to do it when the club hasn't managed to do it for 14 years, when the margins are so small, we found a way to do it. I see how much they want it, how much they try. They sacrifice anything to win. When you play like this at the end, it's going to come your way sooner or later, and it happened tonight. On whether he has experienced an atmosphere like tonight before, he said probably not. It was amazing from start to end. Huge thank you, because with them we are much better, and I think today they impacted. I think the fans were nervous, but they did carry the team through. On the way we set up to win against Porto, he said we always play. If not, I don't know how you are top of the league in the Prem. It's the best league in the world. On our penalty takers all having experience, he said I didn't think that, but it's a great point. Probably a great experience, because that experience is much more real than what we've done in the last 2 days, which obviously in training. The way they took the penalties was superb, and David Raya contributed in a big way. Whether he was comfortable going to penalties, he said no, because practicing in the training ground, a few of them missed by the way yesterday, not today. And this is what I was saying to Robbie in the player ratings, you know, he's saying, yeah, but we had good penalty takers on. Penalty shootout is a gamble, you know. You can score. You can take a good penalty and miss. Roger said, forget that Porto manager. He said similar things about Pep and Tuchel when he lost to them in the past. But when they win, yeah, he's dancing in the dressing room, smoking cigars. Ambient said that Arsenal are back. Let's hope so, my friend. On how important that is for the mentality. It's another big step as a club. The last 7 years we haven't been in this competition. The last 14 we haven't been where we are today. On Raya's performance proving his worth, he said, I don't have to see him today. I was very convinced that was going to be the case. You see in the first few days and what he had to go through, how he did it with composure. You look at his body language. He's brilliant, man. On his learnings from the first 2 legs, having experience, I haven't done it before. It's the first time I've done anything in the Champions League. I try and learn every single day. On Odegaard's goal being disallowed, he said, I haven't seen the replay. I could not understand it, but if he made the decision, maybe there was something out there. For me, it was a foul. How far ahead we can look, he said, it's still very far. Now, when I sit at home, I'm going to look at the teams who we have to play and start to climb another big mountain. On whether a defeat would have affected the rest of the season, he said, that's the way we have to look at it. If you are out, think one less competition, we can focus on the league. On what he expects from the rest of the competition, really happy. Obviously, we want more. Let's see who we have to play. What happened at the final whistle with Conce's out? He said, no comment. Thank you very much. Cone Man music to the world and back. If we think UEFA Champions League, Premier League, think Mbappe. Somebody said that yesterday. I thought that was interesting. They said, if we won the Champions League and the Premier League, would Mbappe consider joining us? It's a good question. I just don't think the manager, not the manager, I don't think the owner would put up the money. It's still about money. The guy wants £1 million a week. So can win the Champions League. If you ain't paying him his money, the guy ain't going nowhere. And he wants Madrid. He said Madrid is his dream club. I don't think we can stop him going Madrid, to be honest. I wish we could, though. Nyamin waffles, sipping syrup. How now, Conce Sao? You're out of the Champions League now with that Cone Man music. Big up man like Elliot. And yeah, Mbappe, as I said 12 months ago in New York, Mr. Arteta or Mikel, do you think we can get Mbappe? And, you know, didn't answer, did he? Well, not the way I wanted. Let's end the poll, people. Wow, 45% of you want Gyökeres. Ivan Toney in second, Isak in third, and Osimhen in third place. The C-Unit community is not convinced by the guy Osimhen. You want Gyökeres. Listen, big up to everyone locked in. Thank you very much for your support. As always, but of course last night, special mention, 154,000 views, nearly 6,000 likes. Great interaction. It was an emotional roller coaster, but an unbelievable night. I think that's one of the best streams ever in terms of the emotion and the victory at the end. Getting Cruz involved as well was brilliant. Big up to him. He went to school late today, so he was happy. And thank you very much for all your interaction and support and all of the memberships that were handed out and all of that. And watching the fan cam. And as I said, I'm on AFTV player ratings. I got a fan cam on there. Fan cam on here last night. If you want to see the goal reactions, check out Curtis Shaw TV on TikTok. I'll be live with Turkish on his channel, 6 o'clock. Be good vibes over there. And I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then on Friday, I'll be live at 10:30 a.m. UK time. For the Champions League watch-along. How big is that watch-along going to be, who we get in the next round? Remember, we don't play until the 31st of March against Man City. MP said, what about the academy? See, Nwaneri should get playing time. I'm sure he's not worse than Nketiah. I think with these crunch games, he's not going to get a lot of football. Thank you very much for tuning in. Next member stream will be international break, so we'll do one next week. Big up to everyone. Great victory last night. Appreciate all your support. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all tomorrow, people. I'm off for a nap, people. I need it after last night. Bless.